It's time to think outside the pocket on Saturday Scramble.
I think the Bucks signed their souls away or something.
I look at the Bucks as Augustus Gloop.
Probably really smart, actually, because I write such long.
Yes! Clip that, Riley. Jason said that I'm smart.
I go to the gym to fight people.
That's awesome.
On 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel with Jesse Nelson. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
Good morning, everybody, from TPC Wisconsin at the American Family Championship. The best place for me to shout out good morning. I had to do a little bit of a shortened version, Jesse. I'm not in the Everlight Solar Studio. Jesse Nelson also here at my side. Again, we are at TPC Wisconsin for day 2 of the American Family Championship. And what a beautiful day we've got out here, Jesse. How you doing today?
I got to admit, I thought you were preparing me for your legendary Jim Nance.
No.
Hello, friends from TPC Wisconsin style intro. So I was a bit taken aback by the big good morning, but that's the kind of energy that we have out here at TPC Wisconsin for the AmFam Championship. Electric day yesterday, a bunch of people out, gorgeous days back to back. They're waving to us as they walk in here at the AmFam Championship. See that? Yeah, they are.
Jesse's a big old celebrity right now.
Back waving just like we were on Wilde and Tausch yesterday.
The roles have switched though too, because last year we were doing this show, or we were doing Sunday Karma last year. You were in the driver's seat. I was in the passenger seat. We're moving things around here.
Now
but,
I just
hey,
get to wave to everybody. You're carrying the show, yeah.
What a day too. You know, Jesse and I are feeling like celebrities. The celebrity foursome is actually happening today too, on top of a scramble format. There's a reason why we needed to be here today. And look, as chipper as I am right now, I gotta say, Jesse, the last half hour that I had probably heading into TPC coming in, it was a scramble in itself. But
What happened to you this morning?
So let me tell you this. Losing your wallet, I love the fact that I play golf and how it relates to losing your wallet. I love the fact that how I was able to control throughout this whole thing of losing my wallet. I woke up this morning. I got all my stuff packed. I showered. I was ready to go. I felt good. I got my phone on me. I had my keys on me. I had my camera. I had my backpack ready to go. And all of a sudden, thinking to myself, I'm like, where the heck's my wallet? I'm scrambling everywhere. I'm looking around my apartment. I'm picking up. I got a little bit of a pile of laundry. I'm not going to lie. I had to throw all that all over the place in my bedroom, and nothing was there. It wasn't in the pants pocket that I had. We were hanging out yesterday, too. Thank you for being a great host, too, Jesse.
Yeah, we had a fun little night last night.
We did. We got after. We like to have a little fun after a nice day out here on the golf course, but unfortunately it wasn't there, so I'm just thinking to myself, I'm driving, I'm like, okay. It's like, again, it's the way that I go about it on the golf course. I've only been playing for about 5 years. Also excited to play out here at TPC on Monday. Is that you're going to have the bad shots. You got to compartmentalize it. You just got to figure out, all right, step by step. You can't go too crazy, because once things just start blowing up in your head, then it's all over. So I took a deep breath. I tried to figure out step by step, where am I going to go? And lo and behold, it was all in my camera stuff. I have it right here if you're watching on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel as well. My wallet is right here.
Wow.
The redemption story we were all looking for, everybody. It was in my camera stuff in my mesh bag with all of the chargers and cords and everything. So the day is saved.
So when you were packing up from here yesterday, you just must have had your wallet sitting out somewhere, and you thought, you know where this belongs? In with the camera.
Apparently, it was a long day, so I must have just thrown everything together. But
I'm
crisis averted.
You somehow are saying that this is related to your golf game.
Yes.
You think that watching Stricker and Jerry Kelly and John Daly and Tung Chai Jaide out here at the AmFam Championship prepared you for the moment to find your wallet?
If anything, you know who would really appreciate this connection is the current leader right now in the leaderboard for the PGA Tour champions across the board is Miguel Angel Jimenez. I will tell you, every time I've been in those press conferences, I'd ask. So the last couple of years, he's been in the lead. Last year was not the year before, though. It was like I had asked him, "Hey, you're heading into Championship Sunday with the lead again. How are you feeling about this?" And I'm like, what's different from last year compared to this year? And I tell you, man, he just brought me on this full philosophical journey. He just blows your mind in terms of like how like why the shoes you wear is so important because it connects you with the earth. He said every year is a different day. He's like he knows about his process. He's like as he said too. He said this right to me. He's like I'm gonna go home. I take a nap. I got my glass of wine. I sleep like a baby. And then I wake up and I play golf.
And
I'm like, what?
Weed is tight.
I'm like, that again. I don't know, Jesse. If you don't appreciate the bigger picture here of, look, I know I'm not a great golfer. I will wholeheartedly admit I'm going to be playing TPC Wisconsin here on Monday, and I'm a 30 handicap. That's going to be just an absolute blast for a guy of my score. Yeah,
okay.
I could. Yeah, this is going to be fun.
Okay,
How many balls do you think I'm going to lose?
Timeout.
Yes.
A lot. Okay, so timeout.
It's a lot of energy right now.
Yeah. I've never believed in finding a penny being good luck.
You're a monster.
And then the people are like, oh, if you find it, is it heads up is good, tails you leave it or whatever. If you find it I don't know what that is, but I have a hard time thinking that finding a penny with its head up is going to mean that you have good fortune throughout the rest of your day. Just like I have a hard time believing that a press conference you attended 2 years ago with Miguel Angel Jimenez of the PGA Tour Champions prepared you for a Saturday morning after you came to a party at our house last night and couldn't find your wallet while you're driving over to do this show this morning.
Listen, Jesse, it is what it is. If you don't believe in luck, you don't believe in luck. You don't believe in good fortune? You don't. We were at the Hard Rock Casino for Wilde and Tausch a few weeks ago, and the person who was signing me up for the rewards membership, she had the same birthday as me.
Wow!
I feel like that's destiny.
And did you win $1,000 after that? Because good fortune and good luck.
I did lose the free $10 that I got at the slots. But
hey,
you know what? Yeah. Sometimes you just got to ride with it. You got to ride with it. You got to go with your gut on these situations here. 844-770-3776, the Carbless Talking text line. Pablo Iglesias with Jesse Nelson here at the American Family Championship, going through my chaotic morning of getting my wallet.
If I may, so also,
please.
Congratulations on finding the wallet. I'm very proud that it wasn't at my house because then we wouldn't have to coordinate you coming and figure out where to get all that stuff. I'm glad it wasn't.
You don't want me to come over and hang out with you?
No, once a year is good.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate your honesty. Good friends. We've carpooled a lot, but apparently I mean nothing.
Twice in the first 6 minutes of the show, you just kind of tossed a little humble brag up to the ether. I get to play TPC Wisconsin on Monday.
Do.
So you get to play this course that the PGA Tour champions are playing this weekend. They're going to leave the grandstands all set up, the pin locations. It's a difficult course by all accounts, even though they're making it look easy in the partner scramble format that they're playing this weekend. Some solid scores after yesterday on the leaderboard. You get to play this course.
I do.
Why? There's 5 or 6 better golfers than you on the ESPN Madison team. How are you we're going to present Pablo as the person who gets to go represent our station and play on this special occasion at this great course?
Because I'm a charismatic, fun person, I guess. I'm not saying that as a knock to other people, but
I feel directly criticized, actually.
Well, you said that you don't want to. You said, if anything, too, if this is going back and forth here, you said only one time a year you're cool with me coming over and hanging out.
I didn't say I want to play with you at TPC Wisconsin.
I'm not.
Why you got the invite and I didn't.
Well, you know what? Actually, Matt Hamilton got the invite to come out with me any other time. So you know what, Jesse? You're not first on that list anymore.
Matt Hamilton is, I would say, if I'm power ranking ESPN Madison teammates as golfers, Matt Hamilton is atop our leaderboard. He's definitely our best golfer. He won the BMW Celebrity Pro-Am last year, which coincidentally is the same weekend as the AmFam Championship on the PGA Tour.
Maybe his game's getting down. Now he was an alternate.
He's a fantastic golfer. I've golfed with Tausch. He's a very solid golfer. I've golfed with some of our sales team members. They're great. John Audius, Badger Volleyball play-by-play broadcaster, really solid golfer. I don't know where you rank, but I've never been out with you personally, but you're representing our station playing TPC Wisconsin.
I sure am. Hey, listen, Jesse, it is what it is. The haters are going to hate, and, that's my motivation there. Haters are my motivators, apparently. I feel a lot of hater energy right here.
A little bit.
I feel a lot of hater energy.
If it makes it any better, it stems from jealousy, because, I'm always angling for a day off of work, and I would have loved that to go play golf on Monday like you.
That you are.
That was rude, Riley.
Riley Youk just speaking the truth here.
Hey, thanks for covering Wednesday's Wilde and Tausch, by the way, while I had jury duty.
Yeah, I got it. No problem, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service, too, Jesse.
Oh, my pleasure.
I
think we're going to hear more about that later in the show.
We will.
Indication of what we're going to be doing here. Okay, final question for you about being out here at TPC Wisconsin.
Please do.
Because today you did mention it's the celebrity foursome. Really great cast of characters. We talked with Andy North on Wilde and Tausch yesterday. He's always the staple of the celebrity foursome. Then you've got U.S. women's soccer legend Mia Hamm. You've got Los Angeles Chargers quarterback, Oregon Ducks legend Justin Herbert. And you've got Charles Woodson, one of the GOATs of the Green Bay Packers.
If not the.
Part of the, well, no, I mean, I wouldn't say he's the greatest Green Bay Packer of all time.
Who is?
Bart Starr.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Reggie White. Like, there's a couple of answers that come very clear. Like Vince Lombardi.
Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers, Favre, hopefully Jordan Love, who we got to see out here yesterday. I think
Very
we're going to be
nice.
talking about him in a little bit. So celebrity foursome this afternoon. Who are you most excited to see? Because it's always a really interesting group of people assembled for that celebrity foursome each year. You get Michael Phelps and Derek Jeter in the same group, and Brett Favre was here a couple of years ago. There's so many fun celebrity. Toby Keith, the late Toby Keith, was here a number of years ago. Sang a song on the 17th green after coming to the penultimate hole of the celebrity foursome. There's been some iconic moments out at this AmFam Championship on this celebrity foursome Saturday. Which one are you most excited to see this afternoon?
I mean, I think it's the obvious one. You got to go with Charles Woodson. It's cool that Justin Herbert came out. Mia Hamm is a legend in herself, but we know it's about catering to the Wisconsin crowd too. When Brett Favre was here, as cool as it would have been to see Jordan Love come out, it is what it is. It's fun that he had an appearance, but Charles Woodson, I mean, you talk about it. Even though I tried to say he is the GOAT, I do agree with what you're saying. There are a lot of names synonymous with Green Bay Packers, but Charles Woodson is just a dog. Charles Woodson is an absolute dog. He's a fan favorite. He's just I just have that feeling he's going to be a fun vibe to be around. We've got our social team out here. We've got a lot of things stacked up and ready to go. So a little tease there for the ESPN Madison social accounts. We're going to have some fun out here with the celebrity foursome with our coverage today.
Definitely going to want to follow along with that all afternoon because it's not televised anywhere.
It is not.
Follow along with our coverage on our social media platforms because if you're not out here watching it in person, it's the behind-the-scenes coverage that you're going to want to find. I don't think we've ever had an active NFL quarterback participate in the celebrity foursome.
This is new, yeah, because it's like it would have been cool to have had, Christian Yelich, for instance, who was an American.
Pollen out here. Sorry about that.
No, I feel that too. If anything, it was
I'm
going
a little
to happen.
choked up here. Justin, we've never had an NFL quarterback
before.
It's amazing.
Jesse's just getting quite emotional. If anything, it's not the pollen, and I'm sure we need to keep a counter of how many times we're going to sneeze with this.
Allergy troubles, I tell you. So I'm really excited to see Justin Herbert as a starting active NFL quarterback participating in the celebrity foursome because that's a dynamic that we're not familiar with in this showcase of some of the greatest athletes and celebrities from around the country. So Justin Herbert participating in this event, I'm curious how serious he takes it. I don't know a lot about Justin Herbert. I know he beat the Badgers in the Rose Bowl. I know he's 0-2 in the playoffs, and Jordan Love has more postseason wins than him. But
for some reason, sour Jesse.
For some reason, Herbert appears to be ranked higher on great quarterbacks in the NFL lists, which is surprising to me. So I don't know what kind of golfer he is. I don't know how he and Charles Woodson, Andy North told us yesterday, that would be the pairing, and then Andy and Mia Hamm will be the other pairing. So I'm curious how Charles Woodson and Justin Herbert play together. I don't know if they have any history. I've gotten to know each other before today. So that's the dynamic I'm most excited to see. And then there's always fun extracurriculars going on in the celebrity foursome. I talked about the Toby Keith concert. Brett Favre was throwing footballs into the crowd a few years ago.
Phelps doing his warm-up routine.
Yeah, Michael Phelps warm-up, yes.
As a former high school swimmer, that was pretty sweet to see. I remember when they just...
Thanks for qualifying yourself there.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
Same category as Michael Phelps.
Michael Phelps and I are basically we did the same event too. So I was also a butterfly. I don't know if I was as fast as Michael.
Did you
Phelps.
go get to swim the Olympic pool the day after the Olympics concluded? Also,
I was invited, but sure. I deferred. I deferred.
So I am really excited to see what the Celebrity Foursome extracurriculars are today, because Charles Woodson's going to want to have fun with the crowd. Andy North is always a good time. He's just America's grandpa out here. Mia Hamm, there's going to be a soccer ball kicked into the stands at some point. Like, those are the types of things that I enjoy seeing at the AmFam Championship, especially on this really fun Celebrity Foursome Saturday. Each day of the tournament, the 3 days over the weekend, kind of have their own personality. Yesterday, you kind of get all the golf fans are coming out, and they want to see, teeing off opening day. You get a lot of the corporate sponsors are out having a great time. A lot of our team members were out here yesterday. Today, you get kind of all right, we're going to have fun, or we're going to, maybe the gallery gets a little rowdy, especially around the time of the Celebrity Foursome as the day's wrapping up. More of the casual atmosphere. And then tomorrow is for the serious golf fans. This is Championship Sunday. Let's see who brings this one home.
A little bit of fun, a little bit of, a great mix today. We know what the Celebrity Foursome credentials are and all the things that those athletes have proven over their careers, or Justin Herbert currently in his career. One guy that we are trying to figure out that needs to figure out how to prove himself is Matthew Golden with the Green Bay Packers. Coming up after this, we are hearing from one big-time ESPN analyst who she says could be a big-time X factor in terms of what Matthew Golden can do. This is the Saturday Scramble. Pablo Iglesias, Jesse Nelson, live from TPC Wisconsin.
Stay tuned. Saturday Scramble continues after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
What's up, Wisconsin fans? Enjoying the game should always be easy, so don't overthink it. What to wear? Done. Just toss on your lucky jersey. Don't know what to serve your friends? Easy. Pick up some pizza from your go-to place and grab Bud Light to stock your fridge. See? It's that easy. Just like Bud Light, which is always brewed with 4 simple ingredients for a clean, crisp taste. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is our crew.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Every pitch, every strike, every hit.
Fly ball right field. Hit a ton. We're tied.
Hear the call of every Milwaukee Brewers game this season on 100.5 ESPN.
Back at the track. Get up. Get up. Get out of here. Gone.
Madison's new home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball. 100.5 ESPN.
Watch PGA Tour champions, including tournament host Steve Stricker, at the American Family Insurance Championship. The tournament moves to its new home at TPC Wisconsin Friday, June 6th through Sunday, June 8th, and features a new team competition. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and the American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at AmFamChampionship.com. That's AmFamChampionship.com.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit maplehillgolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
You're listening to Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Now I'm walking in the moonlight, seeing nothing but the tail lights. And that's a pair of tail lights I may never see again. She hit me with her left and right, showing me nothing but the tail lights. That's about as low.
Welcome back to Saturday Scramble live at TPC Wisconsin. Day 2 of the American Family Championship. Pablo Iglesias, Jesse Nelson here. The question is, how much pressure is too much pressure on Matthew Golden, and are the expectations feeling like they're too high for the first rounder in his rookie season? Jesse Nelson, Pablo Iglesias once again. This is the Saturday Scramble out here at TPC Wisconsin at Day 2 of the American Family Championship. And Jesse, look, we've talked about this, how exciting it is with Matthew Golden. And, well, hey, you just see who walked by, too? Wisconsin running back legend Ron Dane.
How's it going, Ron?
There he is. True OG, too.
Love that.
See, that's
Heisman Trophy winners in attendance today.
Heisman Trophy winners here. All the stars are out here today. True OG.
That's awesome.
That's what we're trying to figure out, too, with Matthew.
I love that we're set up like right at the front entrance of this thing this year, because in previous years we've been kind of off to the side. We've been able to see the practice range, great access to the golfers, the celebrity foursome and whatnot. That's been really cool for us here with the AmFam Championship. This year, new location at TPC Wisconsin, and where our broadcast booth is set up right at the front entrance. When you're walking right in here, you turn right and you get to wave to us right away. And the people that we've seen coming through between yesterday and today, and what's I'm sure to come throughout the rest of the weekend, this is awesome. I love being right out here with the people at the AmFam Championship. This is amazing.
We're getting a lot of big smiles. Jesse's waving like he's on a parade at Disney World or something right now. He's like the character that everybody wants to see. It's funny, though, too, when we saw Ron Dane, and I saw him wearing the True OG shirt, trying to figure out, like, if, Matthew Golden, we know that he was one of the fastest guys, if not the fastest guy at the draft combine. Is he that true OG? The first time the Packers have ever drafted a wide receiver in the first round since, in almost 2 decades. So there's a lot of pressure coming on for Matthew Golden, and I just kind of go back and forth. Like, is he going to be that X factor? Is he going to be that type of guy? Jesse, real quick, what do you think?
Is Matthew Golden the Packers' X factor? That's the question here.
Yes.
No, I don't think he is the X factor this year. I think that receiver room is still too abundant. Too many. There's a lot of mouths to feed. We've talked about the Friends cast on Wilde and Tausch and how that model didn't necessarily work last year. I think Matthew Golden can help the Packers' offense be greater than it was a season ago. But I would not say that Matthew Golden is the X factor for the Green Bay Packers in 2025. I think he is a factor, but he's not the X factor.
It's interesting that you say that, because earlier this week on the Mina Kimes podcast, she feels otherwise.
Jordan Love is a guy who loves to throw the ball deep. We know that. But Christian Watson, he was just overwhelmed, even, despite some injuries, overwhelmed the team in target share and yards per route run on deep balls. He is hurt. So, to me, if Golden can become the explosive deep threat that they, I think, hoped he would be when he drafted, I'm feeling pretty good about this offense.
What say ye, Jesse?
I think it's easy, especially from a national perspective, to take a look at fantasy impact players, skill position players, and identify X factors from those. You know, the game of football is very statistical when it comes to skill position players, and you can look at receptions and touchdowns and yards per catch and all those types of things for quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends. What I think the X factor for the Green Bay Packers will be this year is Rashawn Gary. Because I think on defense is where this season is going to be defined for the Green Bay Packers. I think we know for the most part what they are offensively. I think they're going to see significant upgrades in an offensive strategy going into this season. So I think, Josh Jacobs will have his role defined now in year 2 in Green Bay. Jordan Love in year 3, understanding a little bit more and understanding going into the season what he has at receiver with the different options available to him. I'm interested what Savion Williams and, of course, what Matthew Golden will do as rookies in that receiving core. But offensively, I think we kind of know what the goals are going to be for the Packers this year. And I don't know if there's one particular X factor who will make or break what happens for the team this season. As opposed to defensively, if Rashawn Gary stinks, and he's the guy that I'm going to circle because he's right there and he's such a significant player in what he does in the pass rush and everything. If Rashawn Gary stinks, that defense could get torched for a bunch of games. It doesn't matter if the offense is putting up 31 points a game. If they're giving up 34, what good is it? Ask the Phoenix Suns of the early 2000s. You can score 130 a game, but if you're giving up 140, it doesn't matter.
That was a fun squad.
Very fun. Steve Nash.
Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah, that was a good squad. They were fun. But they couldn't win in the playoffs because they kept giving up a bunch of points. The Packers' defense this year is going to be the X factor to me. They played very well last year. I really liked what Jeff Hafley did on that side of the ball as a coordinator. But I'm concerned about the next step being taken for some of those reliable, dependable, X-factor type players, and for me, it starts by circling Rashawn Gary and saying, what are you as a first-round pick from a few years ago? Are you going to be the guy that's going to take over and emerge as a leader on that defensive unit, or are you going to be a guy that is going to be looked at after he moves on from his Packers tenure and say, he was an okay player, he had great moments, but he didn't live up to that first-round draft billing?
Fascinating to think about that. Yes, Rashawn Gary seems like he'll be the defensive X factor, but we're always talking about Jordan Love, and while we could talk about Jordan Love, there is a guy who had a nice one-on-one conversation with him yesterday. That is Jason Wilde. He's going to be coming up on the other side. We'll take a quick breather here. Pablo Iglesias, Jesse Nelson. This is the Saturday Scramble live from the American Family Insurance Championship at TPC Wisconsin.
Stay tuned. Saturday Scramble continues after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Catch the feeling of Hawaii at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison with our 100K Luau promotion. The festivities take place on Saturday, June 28th. Starting at 4 p.m., 24 winners will each select a cash prize between $1,000 and $10,000. Then at 7:30, one grand prize winner will take home the big one, $30,000. We're giving away a total of $100,000 at this luau. Aloha. Put on your Hawaiian shirts and head over to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Hey, it's Alex Stroh from Mr. Irrelevant, and we are hitting the road. Friday, June 13th, spooky. We're heading to Door County Distillery in Carlsville. If you're spending the weekend in Door County, come check out Door County Distillery and hang out with us from noon until 2. That's Friday, June 13th at Door County Distillery in Carlsville. But even if you're not heading to Door County anytime soon, you can bring Door County to you with their cherry brandy for your old fashions infused with Door County cherries, whiskeys, rums, and plenty more. Check them out, doorcountydistillery.com.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honey's. Congratulations to the perennial Best of Madison Award winner by the folks at Madison Magazine. Meet me at Buck and Honey's to celebrate Wisconsin hospitality. Whether you're enjoying the view on the Yahara River in Monona, exploring Wanakee, visiting the OG in Sun Prairie, or checking out the new location in Mount Horeb, you can enjoy the Buck and Honey's experience in a neighborhood near you. Serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week with brunch every Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you at Buck and Honey's.
One call, that's all. It's not just a slogan, but a way of life at Gruber Law Offices. If you've been injured, call our team today. We've represented tens of thousands of injured Wisconsinites for well over 30 years. Trust Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Veterans of Foreign Wars Wisconsin recently upgraded their document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Adam Wallace, VFW State Adjutant.
Our representative ensured that we had what was right for us, for our needs, and for our budget, and I thought it was a very good interaction.
That's a good thing to have James Imaging Systems as your local business technology partner?
Absolutely. We want people that are going to support what we want to do in supporting veterans, and if that means spending less on our imaging and technology costs, that's more that we can spend on our programs.
And that's a really good thing. Adam, any advice to other businesses out there?
I would say to go with James Imaging.
Because?
Because they are a partner and they give great customer service and the prices are right.
Great document imaging technology, great service, great value. From James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
You're listening to Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. He knows it all about the green and gold.
Well, first of all, knows it all is definitely not accurate.
Well, he still knows a lot more than we do.
And I'm fine with that. I don't really like to be the center of attention like Riley does.
It's Jason Wilde on Saturday Scramble.
I need some good news. Send me sipping on cold truth. Nobody knows what I'm going through. With the devil and walking my shoes. Wish someone told me living this life would be lonely. Trying to get away from the old me. Still stuck singing these blues.
The Saturday Scramble live at the American Family Insurance Championship, day 2 of the tournament out here at TPC Wisconsin. Pablo Iglesias and Jesse Nelson. What a beautiful Saturday we've got today, too. Everybody's going to be out here. Charles Woodson, part of the celebrity foursome. So the big Packers showing will certainly be here. Yesterday, a huge Packers showing with Jordan Love making a stopover. And we are now joined by the man who got a nice one-on-one conversation with them. He is Mr. Jason Wilde. Jason, good morning. How you doing today?
2 minutes and 45 seconds. Thank you to Jordan for sharing a little bit of his time to talk about Aaron Rodgers' return and their relationship and that big matchup on October 26th.
Scoopage.
That's going to be
Tausch
fun.
would say scoopage. You haven't had a good scoopage in a while there, Jason.
I think it was more familiar face. And the good people at AmFam, I know they were not making him available to talk football, so I appreciated the folks that were shepherding him around the course to give me a few minutes with him when he asked if that was okay. So it was great to talk with him. I love the fact that he, talked about obviously Rodgers and embraced the fact that he's looking forward to facing his mentor, and the fact that he actually served as a mentor to him as opposed to maybe the previous transition from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers went.
I did have a chance to listen to all 2 minutes and 45 seconds of your conversation with Jordan Love, Jason. That's what stood out most to me. What was your primary takeaway from that conversation with him yesterday?
Well, first of all, thanks for editing out the guy that interrupted to say we got to get going. He's on a time frame.
Well done, Jeff.
That was actually, it might have been my favorite part, but I did edit it out because it didn't seem like it would help the cause for what people would be tuning in for. Yeah.
Indeed, no, you do great work. Yeah, look, you were just on a jury, as we all know.
We know.
I'm still getting really positive feedback from that, so it's been great to see how folks have reacted. So you were on a jury. You would probably have to say, as an experienced juror, that my questions might have been a little bit leading questions, right? Because they were about his relationship with Rodgers and their history together, but it's well known how different the dynamic was than it was with Favre. And I think the point that I was trying to get at, and I think, you can also read in the on channel3000.com, because I went back and found an old thing that Rodgers had said to me in 21 about the difference between their approaches. I think the most important thing is this prevents this from being, look, as I wrote, Jordan Love wants to win this game. He wants to beat his mentor. He wants the Packers to win in prime time in Pittsburgh. He wants all those things. But this isn't, for him anyway, this isn't the same thing as what Aaron Rodgers felt in 09 and 10 going up against Brett Favre. There's not the acrimony, there's not the bloodthirst that there was then. And I thought that was important because, that doesn't mean that either one of these hyper-competitive dudes don't want to beat each other, but it will certainly have a different tenor than, 09. I've seen a lot over the years in this job, and I've never seen anything like that. Like, there's this image from the game at the Metrodome after Favre throws a touchdown pass, and it's just burned into my memory of him celebrating, and it's just this guttural reaction, and behind him there's no other players, there's no side, it's just the fans, and they are just uproarious, just exploding in excitement throughout the Metrodome. And it was just such a different feel. And then obviously when he came to Lambeau Field and him being so booed so vociferously, except by everyone except you, Jesse, like it just was such a scene. And while this will be a fascinating story, and I look forward to the game being played, it definitely will have a different vibe.
Yeah, it's interesting that you talk about that too. The different vibe, just the comparing and contrasting, Jason. The piece that you wrote on Channel 3000 too really puts it into a good light of the relationship that Jordan and Aaron had versus the relationship that Aaron and Brett had. I mean, just the differences, the stark differences, if you will, between those transitions. How did you see Aaron kind of grow, and how did you see him just truly help Jordan become who he is today?
Yeah, and look, I think, there's a lot of things these days, right, where, people have different opinions of Rodgers, and not all of them are flattering. And I get it. And I have my own challenges with some of the stuff. But, he would have been the GOAT of hypocrites if after, especially the first 2 years he had with Favre, things were better in 07. You can't deny that. But the first 2 years with Favre, he was miserable. Like, Favre, did not want him there and did not make it a secret. And so had he treated Jordan Love the same way, he would have been a total hypocrite. And I'm glad that he didn't. And certainly Jordan is appreciative that he didn't. But that, to me, is where the genesis of his, he regardless of how you feel about him these days, there are some really good things about Aaron Rodgers. And I'm sure he would have been good to Jordan Love regardless, just as he was to all the other backups he had. But this was different, right? This was a first-round pick as opposed to Matt Flynn, who was a 7th-round pick, and those types of guys. It's easy to be really good at Tim Boyle because you're not worried about Tim Boyle stealing your job. And so Rodgers made sure that he took good care of Love, and I do think that is really important. But when we get to October 26th, I know there were a few people in my mentions today telling me that the media has to calm down because he'll be injured by week 4. I just don't understand why people would want to live in that world where they're basically hoping he gets hurt and trying to speak it into existence. I think this is going to be a special game. It's going to be really neat to see. I want to see how Rodgers fares as a member of the Steelers. We had some good conversations yesterday about what he's going to be up against. But, look, had he gone to another team that wasn't on the Packers' schedule, we would have talked about it some. But this changes everything, the fact that he will, in fact, if he's healthy, be playing against his former team.
Talking to Jason Wilde on the Saturday Scramble on ESPN Wisconsin. Wilde and Tausch, 9 to noon, weekdays, a very well-produced show, one of the 5 days this week.
Nice plug there.
Usually I say it's a well-produced show. I was barely...
This show.
Well, this show is also well-produced.
Very well-produced.
We've got Riley Auk of the Everlight Solar Studio holding down the fort for us.
Jason, I think this week with the Rodgers news going to Pittsburgh and then contrasting that with Jordan Love and obviously what you talked with Jordan Love about yesterday, it just, correct me if I'm wrong, to me it feels like when Aaron Rodgers took over for Brett Favre, he was instantly viewed like this is his team, he's the guy, he needs to figure it out right now. And Jordan Love, entering year 3 now as a starting quarterback of the Packers, it feels like he's still like, let him grow, let him develop, give him some time yet to kind of come into his own. Why is that, if you agree, why is there that difference in how we viewed Aaron Rodgers when he first took over versus how we're viewing Jordan Love still right now entering year 3?
Yeah, that's a really interesting observation, Jesse, because, remember, Rodgers not only dealt with a bunch of fans who abandoned the organization to support their favorite quarterback instead of their favorite team. But on top of that, they had been to the NFC Championship game the year before and were playing it at home, and Brett Favre threw an interception in overtime, and they lost the game, right? So he was taking over a team, and again, as I write about, obviously Rodgers made the path easier for Jordan to take over for him. One way that he made it easier, and I don't think it was on purpose, was that they finished 8-9 in 2022 and missed the playoffs by losing at home to Detroit on the final game of the season. Like, the expectations about this team, what were we talking about them in 2023? They're rebuilding. No one was saying that in 2008. Right? I mean, they were saying Mark Tauscher was the right tackle. Chad Clifton was the left tackle. They were a veteran team that had been to the NFC Championship game a year earlier. And so the expectations, you're exactly right, Jesse, were completely different. And, obviously 6-10 did not live up to those expectations. So, I do think it's different. Again, I talked about this with Jim, Matt, and Molly yesterday a little bit too. Like, I don't. It does feel like there is a portion of the fan base that just wants to protect Jordan from expectations or critique, not even criticism. Like, I don't think anybody's out here saying that he sucked last year. We all understand what he dealt with and the drops and the injuries and everything else, but he wasn't as good as he had been, and he wasn't good enough. And so, I do think he benefits from a portion of fans, I don't know how large it is, that are not very critical and are very patient. And no, there weren't a lot of patient Packers fans in 2008. There weren't. And, there were certainly people that looked at that change and thought that the Packers had made a huge mistake and missed out on a chance in 2008 to go win a Super Bowl had they kept Brett Favre. But I do think it's important to remember, not only did Brett Favre retire in March of 2008, when he came back, people always forget this, and it wasn't in the Netflix documentary because it was about other things in Brett Favre's life and career. He did not come back to get his job back with the Packers. He came back to force the Packers' hand because he wanted to be released, and he wanted to go play for Chile up in Minnesota in 2008 already. He didn't want to be traded to the Jets either. His game plan was show up, force the Packers to make a decision, and he thought that they would say, all right, well, we've already committed to Rodgers, so we'll just release you to alleviate the headache. A little bit without quite as much acrimony of what we're looking at with Jaire Alexander and the idea of him coming to the mini camp next week. So don't lose sight of the fact that it wasn't like Favre came back wanting his old job back. That was the narrative that was out there. But what he really wanted was freedom to go play for the Vikings, who had been tampering with him all that offseason.
Once again, Jason Wilde here on the Saturday Scramble. Pablo Iglesias, Jesse Nelson. You could hear Jason weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN on Wilde and Tausch. Jason, you did mention a little bit, though, too. Hey, we're trying to figure out right now what's happening in training camp. But another question, another story, too, Jaire Alexander and his return. You know, it's been a strange offseason, whether or not he was going to be a part of this team, if he was going to move on, if they were going to trade him. Whatever the case may be, I mean, where does that relationship stand now? If he's going to be at training camp, if he's, it sounds like things are on the better side now as we move closer to training camp.
Yeah, maybe not, right? I mean, look, this is obviously the critical point is this coming week. You know, the Packers practice. We just got the media schedule. They practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 10:30 a.m. So, Jesse, adjust your Wilde and Tausch planning accordingly.
Oh, boy.
There you go.
No jury duty this week.
live from the sideline, hopefully. But, you know, they do not want him on the field under his current contract. They do not want him to suffer some sort of injury over those 3 days and be on the hook for $16.15 million. So while maybe things are better, and maybe he agrees to an adjusted contract, and maybe he is out there then under his new contract and getting ready to play for the Packers in 2025 here. I still don't feel like we can say for certain that that's where it's going to go. I hope it does, because, I've been very clear. I want him on this team. I enjoy covering him. We have a fun relationship. I wish he would have given me his phone number, but that's another story for another day. So the bottom line is that, you know, I know there were some folks that thought the media was trying to run him out of town. That has never been the case here. But I am eager to see, are we finally going to get a resolution here? Are we finally going to know, are you in or are you out? And that's on both sides. Like, if he shows up and he says, look, I want to stay here, but not with the current offer that's on the table, can we meet in the middle of where I was supposed to be and where you're offering me now, and then I'm in? If that happens, then he'll be out on the field. But until that contract is adjusted, I don't think we're going to see him out there. And as Tausch has explained, it's very hard to keep a guy who reports for a mandatory event from taking part in it, because you're worried about, as Tausch likes to say, you dropping a weight on your toe and breaking your toe, and then you're on the hook for the entire salary for that year. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I can tell you this: I'm really looking forward to Tuesday and finding out.
Jason, last question for me. Pablo's a big fan of the Mina Kimes show. He was listening to Mina earlier this week, and she identified the X factors for all the teams, and she said for the Green Bay Packers, it's Matthew Golden is the X factor for the 2025 season. Do you agree or disagree with Mina Kimes in that assertion? And if not, who is your X factor for the Green Bay Packers this year?
Yeah, so you guys know this. Mina and I have been friends for a really long time. That doesn't mean we always agree. Next time I talk to her, I would say, oh, hey, really bold take. The X factor is the first-round pick?
Interesting.
So I will have to mention that to her. But look, obviously, if he's able to give them some major contributions, that would be great. But maybe I just have a different definition of X factor. Like, I think the X factor is a guy like Luke Musgrave, right? Who has flashed some moments of being a really good, productive player for this organization. But he is, if it weren't for Marshawn Lloyd and his even worse injury luck, Luke Musgrave would be the world's most. Didn't there used to be a guy, the world's most interesting man, most interesting man in the world?
Oh yeah.
I'm not here to talk about whatever beverage he promoted, but I look at Luke Musgrave and I think, with the exception of Marshawn Lloyd, he's the unluckiest man in the world. Like, he was a pretty big piece of what they were doing in 2023 until he ruptures his kidney in a game, and he's sidelined because he's spitting up and peeing blood, and he's out for an extended period. And during that extended period was when Tucker Kraft elevated his game, right? And now he comes back last year, and we barely talked about him in training camp. And then he suffers an ankle injury and misses 3/4 of the season. Like, he's become, from going from a second-round pick who they were so excited about and talking about, how fast he runs, 25 miles an hour and all this other stuff. He went from that to being the forgotten man. And so, to me, he's the type of X factor. Lucas Van Ness, who has not been nearly productive enough in his first 2 seasons, he's an X factor. If he suddenly has 7, 8, 9 sacks this season and gets more pressure on quarterbacks, that's an X factor to me. So, you don't draft guys in the first round to be just X factors, in my opinion. You draft them to be impact players, and not as much of an impact in year 1 as they will have in year 2, 3, 4. But I expect Matthew Golden to be a contributor. Maybe it looks like Devontae Adams' rookie year in 2014, right, where he had 3 really big-time games, including 1 playoff game, one against Belichick and the Patriots and 1 other one. I'm not saying that Matthew Golden is going to have 1,700 receiving yards this year, but I think he's more than just an X factor.
I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Well, Jason Wilde is our X Factor
not
here.
That again.
Once again, you can hear Jason Wilde and also the scoffing Jesse Nelson over here, apparently. You can hear him weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN and also on the ESPN Wisconsin app all over the place on Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon. Jason, thanks again for your time. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
All right, guys, say hi to Charles Woodson for me. Are you going to go to the celebrity foursome? Are you going to... tell him that I said hello, and I'm sorry that I missed him, that I was there yesterday. Will you do that for me, Jesse?
I'm for sure planning on hanging out here through tea time of the foursome. What would I yell to Charles Woodson that would be a very special message from you to him that would make him double take?
Well, don't call him Chuck, right? We all know that.
Do not do that. Yeah.
So that's something
Charles,
we don't do.
Charles, who do you like better, Jason Wilde or Mark Tauscher?
There we go.
Yeah,
we're going to do that. Thank you, Jason.
And that way, even if he says Tausch, at least you've gotten his attention with a former teammate and a former beat reporter.
Why are you always trying to stir stuff up, Jason?
Yeah, I like that.
Well, Jason, hey, take care again. We appreciate everything that you do. Like I said, enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
All right, guys, take care. Be good.
Yeah, we will make sure definitely to say that to Charles Woodson. That's going to be hilarious. Jason
Wilde's
Wilde.
blessing, you got to do it, right?
Yeah, Jason Wilde, weekdays from 9 to noon on Wilde and Tausch here on 100.5 ESPN. On the other side, too, we talked a little bit about that exclusive one-on-one interview that he had with Jordan Love, his takeaways. We will play that for you on the other side of this break. This is the Saturday Scramble. Pablo Iglesias, Jesse Nelson, live at TPC Wisconsin.
Stay tuned. Saturday Scramble continues after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated
National champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison. All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. On Wednesday, June 18th, we're taking Wilde and Tausch back on the road down I-90 to Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Stop by and check out the new location featuring over 175,000 square feet of gaming and entertainment space. That includes more than 1,300 slot machines, 50 live table games, and a rock shop. Join us on Wednesday, June 18th from 9 to noon at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, a premier entertainment destination just off I-90 in Rockford, Illinois. Let's Hard Rock!
The Bucky Badger Student Mascot Fund was created to support the amazing student athletes who bring the best mascot in the world to life.
My name is Jake Huser. I was Bucky from 2021 to 2024, and my favorite memory of being Bucky was winning a national championship with both volleyball in 2021 and women's hockey in 2023.
Your donation will help fund new scholarships to ensure that the rich tradition of Bucky lives on. Learn more at supportbucky.org. That's supportbucky.org.
Jim Rutledge here. It's officially camping season, which means I will be using my big blue truck from Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. What does that mean? It means it's a customized buying experience. If you're an expert and you know what you want, they're happy to let you take the lead. And if you have a ton of questions, Aaron, Tyler, and the whole team at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb will make sure they can answer them all. You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
ESPN Madison is proud to partner with Mentoring Positives for our third annual ESPN Madison Open. Mentoring Positives is a nonprofit based right here in Madison and is dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. As a trusted presence in the community, Mentoring Positives has been helping young people build confidence, leadership, and purpose for 20 years. They're changing lives right here in our community. Visit mentoringpositives.org to make your impact today. That's mentoringpositives.org.
Here's to experiencing it all this summer in Wisconsin. Every deliciously cheesy, rockin', magical, fireworks-filled, festival-loving moment. There's Cheese Curd Fest in Ellsworth, Strawberry Fest in Cedarburg, Festival of the Arts in Stevens Point, and the Renaissance Fair in Bristol, Honor the Earth Powwow in Hayward, Mile of Music in Appleton, Venetian Fest, Bratfest, Summerfest. So many fests for your whole crew. Find them all at TravelWisconsin.com. Sponsored by Travel Wisconsin.
This update sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you.
Fans, here is the Quick Trip to the Ballpark ticket offer. Spend $200 at participating Quick Trip locations and get a free Terrace Reserve ticket to a 2025 Milwaukee Brewers home game. Check brewers.com/quicktrip for more details.
Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
You're listening to Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
This killing time is killing me. Drinking myself.
Back at TPC Wisconsin for day 2 of the American Family Insurance Championship. Pablo Iglesias, Jesse Nelson here for the Saturday Scramble. I think the question that a lot of people here, even though we're at a golf event, I even hit the streets yesterday, Jesse, to ask, how do you feel about Aaron Rodgers agreeing to terms with the Pittsburgh Steelers? It sounds like you've got a few things to say here.
I'm excited that he's back. I'm excited that he's back and that the Packers get to play him this year. How about that?
Are you truly excited? It looks like we're catching ears, too, of people walking in as well. We feel like celebrities. See, we get a thumbs down. We get a thumbs down.
I think they're thumbsing down Rodgers, not you, although it might be for your polo. It's a little loud, but I think they're thumbsing down Rodgers.
Well, hang on. Hey, hey, what do you think of my polo, real quick? You like it? Yeah, he said he
Oh,
liked
that
it.
gets a thumbs up.
That got a thumbs up.
Thumbs up on the polo, thumbs down on Rodgers.
See,
that's all right. Okay.
So, and the other side, too, I walked into the media center. Some of the Great American Family Insurance Championship folks, the media staff, did compliment the polo. They said I could be best dressed for the day. So take that, Jesse.
It looks like you're a fan of the Miami Dolphins.
What's wrong with Miami?
They stink.
Fair enough, but Aaron Rodgers is not going to Miami. He is going to Pittsburgh, and what a saga this whole thing has been. Like I said, you could also catch it on our ESPN Madison Instagram, all of our social channels. I went out on the streets, and there were some bold takes. The boldest one that I got was that he's going to end his career with a Super Bowl victory. This is coming from a Packers fan. He's like lukewarm on Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers winning a Super Bowl seems so far-fetched to me.
Yeah,
we're getting
more thumbs down.
We're getting more thumbs down. It seems
Yeah.
like that is the popular opinion here from everybody attending the American Family Insurance Championship here at TPC Wisconsin. And first off, I don't know if it's going to happen with the Super Bowl. Heck, I don't even know if it's going to happen, and I'm not calling for the injury bug. Let me put that at the forefront. I think it's just going to be a testy situation because what does this offense even look like for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Because you lost Najee Harris. Yeah, you have DK Metcalf, but then you got rid of George Pickens. So the question is can they even make it to the playoffs? Can they make it to the playoffs? And even if they do, can they get over that Mike Tomlin hump that they've been struggling with this whole time and win a playoff game? It's a lot of loaded stuff.
The AFC is top-loaded. Cincinnati, Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore. Even if the Steelers over-exceed expectations with Aaron Rodgers coming in this year, it's still going to be a gauntlet to try and win 3 playoff games, which is something they haven't been able to do once in 10 years. Pittsburgh win a playoff game.
Yep.
Like it's going to be a murderer's row of playoff teams if they want to try and get over the hump and get there this year. But as much as the fans that are walking in are giving the thumbs down to Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love yesterday when he was talking with Jason Wilde did give the thumbs up on playing with him. I thought that was compelling, and we're going to hear that now, right?
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
So you saw the news yesterday, obviously.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What was the first thought that went through your mind?
I was excited for A-Rod. I don't think I was too surprised. I feel like there was a lot of rumors going on throughout the whole offseason about him going to the Steelers. So, I was excited for him that he was obviously coming back, going to be playing. There's also rumors that he might be done. So, just knowing that he's going to keep playing, that's pretty awesome.
So we've talked before about how crazy 2008 was with the transition.
Mm-hmm.
The way he left, Tausch and I were talking about it today, it did make it a hell of a lot easier on you than Favre did on him.
Mm-hmm.
How much did that, I don't want to say mean to you, but it really did kind of help you hit the ground running and not have to deal with controversy and people booing you. And that was that valuable? Do you look back on that with appreciation, or how do you view that?
No, 100%. I appreciate definitely the way A-Rod just handled being in that situation. And I think a big part of it was what she told me was, he knows kind of how it was for him being in the same position and things that he went through and just the way the situation might have been handled. And I think his perspective was, I'm trying to go about this a little bit differently, which I think was awesome. And I think in my time with A-Rod, we had a great relationship. It was awesome being in the room with him, be able to learn. And he was amazing with everything. And, I definitely appreciate the way he handled everything on the outside with obviously leaving and me taking over and things like that. And I think he's been great, very supportive of me, and definitely helped, with some of the negativity and things like that might come with that. But I think A-Rod handled like a pro and did me very, very right.
But that's how it was privately with you too. Like he actually did help you,
100%,
right?
yeah.
And that was not what he experienced. You think that was a motivation for him not to put you in the same situation he was?
Definitely, I think a lot of that was, he's been through the very same situation I was in, and he knows what it feels like to be in that situation. So I think that's just testament to his character and the way he treats people. He was trying to go about it differently than it was for him, and I was grateful for that.
So last thing about him, the 26th of October, I was obviously here in 2009 for Brett.
Yep.
What's it going to be like for you think, to be on the same field with him?
It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to be on different sides, meeting up, and I know we'll talk pregame and things like that, and hopefully we can exchange jerseys after.
Love that idea of exchanging jerseys afterwards, too. Jesse, real quick, I mean, the tenacity, the competition, but also the appreciation, too. What did you take away from that?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, the end comments about wanting to play against Aaron Rodgers. You never know how and Jordan Love, he's entering his 6th season, but he's still a young quarterback by terms of it's his 3rd year as the Packers starter, and he didn't get a lot of experience before that. So you wonder how someone is going to address being in this very unique situation in the National Football League. I loved what he said. Cool, calm, collected, looking forward to it, understands the value and the relationship that he has and had with Aaron Rodgers, but still wants to go toe-to-toe with him and is ready for that challenge. Love to hear that, and love to be pumped up a little bit more, honestly, for that Sunday night showdown in Pittsburgh coming later this year. And then, as Jason talked about with us in the last segment, I think some of the interaction about how Aaron Rodgers served as a mentor to Jordan Love and how it wasn't the same as Brett Favre trying to fend off Rodgers when Rodgers first came to Green Bay. I think that's really interesting, too, to hear again from Jordan Love's side. Because Aaron Rodgers has talked, Lord knows he talks a lot, but we've heard him say how he's approached that differently on the Pat McAfee show and other places that he's spoken. Jordan Love has talked about it, but not that much, honestly, since Rodgers left. It's been a lot about his development and his role on the team and his relationship with Matt LaFleur. So to hear him reiterate that Rodgers was a really great leader and a good role model and a good mentor to him when he was in Green Bay makes me remember the good old days.
Makes you remember the good old days. There's a quote that I remember when I was in Central Illinois. I heard from coaches, and a lot of coaches have said this: respect everyone, fear no one. And I think that's kind of the idea that Jordan Love has coming into this game. I'm excited to see it. It's going to be a Sunday night game. It's going to be under the lights. Everybody's going to be watching that one. So,
you think it's the biggest game of the year? Jim Matt Molly asked that. We asked it yesterday on Wilde and Tausch. Is that the biggest game of the Packers season?
The Packers season, yeah. I could make an argument for it. As fun as Week 1 versus the Lions will be, I feel like that this is the big one. This is the big one that everybody's going to be watching.
I like when Riley talks to us in sound effects, and we need to interpret it. There
it goes.
Well, Riley, what's the biggest game of the Packers season?
Week 1 against Detroit. Come on,
interesting.
That's going to set the tone for the entire season. And while I think you can make an argument that the Rodgers game, Week 8 against the Steelers, is the most fun, most interesting game from a storyline perspective, it's not the most important by any stretch.
So this is what I said yesterday on Wilde and Tausch, and I felt really good about this take as I went to sleep last night, so I'm going to say it again today.
Oh, good. You feel humble about it,
I really feel good about this take. The Rodgers game, again, Rodgers and the Steelers, loving the Packers, Sunday Night Football, late October, that'll feel like a bowl game where it is special for different reasons. When Wisconsin plays LSU at a neutral site, or Auburn, or name the bowl games they've played in over the years, the Rose Bowl, like
the Cheez-It Bowl.
Yeah, sure. Even the Rose Bowl, I would even go as far to say.
Up when I said that.
It's special, it's different, it's an uncommon opponent, it's going to have its own fanfare and pageantry. But what's more important for the Badgers each year is beating Minnesota, Nebraska, and Iowa. And for the Packers, what's more important and the bigger games is going to be a statement Week 1 against Detroit, who was the number 1 seed in the NFC last year. A big game to close out the season against the Minnesota Vikings, the Chicago Bears at the back end of the schedule, Detroit on Thanksgiving Day. Like, those divisional games are the biggest games of the year. The Eagles coming to town on Monday Night Football in November, a couple of weeks after the Rodgers game. That'll be a more important game for the landscape of playoff positioning this year for the Packers. But pageantry and excitement and enthusiasm, it's like something totally different when you're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers.
The potential bowl game. I like that.
Rodgers
Jesse.
Bowl.
Look, I know you and I have had our back and forths a little bit today, but I gotta stand you on that one.
Yes.
Let's
right.
Why don't we
back on the same team?
Back on the same team. We'll take a reset.
Does that mean I get to come play here with you on Monday?
Hang on. I don't know. I don't know about that just yet. You don't take it and run miles and miles with it. But hey, we'll take a quick break here. We'll reset. I got a little heated about some Rodgers talk. We'll have more of that to start off the 11 o'clock hour. A little bit behind here, but we will get going on some Rodgers talk here. This is Pablo Iglesias, Jesse Nelson. This is Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN.
The GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. GRB Academy wants to be part of your plan to reach your potential. Utilize GRB Academy's 52,000 square foot facility, 14 batting cages, and 6,000 square foot weight room. Personal lessons at the GRB Baseball Academy are available year-round. With over 300 college players and over 150 Division I players, GRB has consistently led the way in the Midwest for college recruitment and player development. Visit their website, grbacademy.com, for more information. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Madison School and Community Recreation's For Friends Golf Outing is Wednesday, July 23rd at the Oaks Golf Course. Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. Since 2003, the Friends of MSCR has raised over $630,000 to fund new programming, equipment, fee assistance, staff development, and more. You can support accessible recreation in Madison through sponsorship or by signing up for a foursome. Head to birdease.com/MSCR for more information and to register. That's BIRDEASE.com/MSCR.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
It's time to think outside the pocket on Saturday Scramble.
I think the Bucks signed their souls away or something.
I look at the Bucks as Augustus Gloop.
Probably really smart, actually, because I write such long.
Yes! Clip that, Riley. Jason said that I'm smart.
I go to the gym to fight people.
That's awesome.
On 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel with Jesse Nelson. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
No, Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre are not one in the same. This is the Saturday Scramble. Pablo Iglesias, Jesse Nelson, live at the American Family Insurance Championship Day 2. Also an exciting day here at TPC Wisconsin. Celebrity foursome time. Charles Woodson, part of the group. It's going to be a fun one, Jesse.
Saw a fan with a cheesehead walk in during our commercial break. We said, oh, hey, I love the cheesehead. He said, it's for Charles Woodson.
Those dying loyalist Packer fans, too, and even Jason Wilde, you heard him earlier in the show, too, giving a little bit of a nod to when fans decided to move away from the organization for a little bit, take a break when Brett and Aaron hands
up.
There he goes. We love self-accountability. Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah. I had the Favre Jets jersey. I had the Favre Vikings jersey.
There's still a Jets helmet on our desk over back in the ESPN Madison studio.
In fairness, I did not bring that in, and I don't know who did.
So who did? It's still there.
I think Strofe might have brought it in. He seems like he'd a guy who had a Jets helmet back in the day. I don't know why.
That adds up.
That is not my New York Jets helmet out on my desk in the ESPN Madison studio.
So, Jesse, what do you feel like, though? Do you feel like that Rodgers and Favre, based off of the exits, based off of how their post-Packers careers, where do they align? More so with Rodgers and as he takes this next step. What's his legacy?
So first things first, when we're talking about Brett Favre, obviously that documentary came out on Netflix a few weeks ago. Like, we're not talking about that stuff. What we're talking about is football legacy and the other stuff that's gone on for him allegedly, during and since his playing days, aside from this conversation. Just in the lore of Packers history and in the realm of the National Football League, what do their legacies mean at this point and when they left their respective teams at the tail end of their careers? So when I think about Brett Favre, at the end of the year, at the end of his career, went to the Jets, had a pretty solid season, didn't make the playoffs, got hurt down the stretch, then went to the Vikings, had one of the best, if not the best, statistical career or season of his career. So that first of the 2 seasons in Minnesota was tremendous. 2 seed in the NFC playoffs. Go to New Orleans, had a chance, should have been in the Super Bowl, would have been Brett Favre against Peyton Manning and one of the all-time classics. And instead, the Saints did that onside kick, and he can't even do that anymore. So, when
that was a sweet play, though, I'm not going to lie.
What that proved to me was that Brett Favre still had it, and at the time, it meant that he was right in the argument that if the Packers would have been welcome to having him back, they should have brought him back because they were just in the NFC Championship game in 2007, and if it hadn't been 30 degrees below zero in overtime against the Giants, they probably win the game and go on and try to beat the undefeated Patriots. Obviously, that's not how history was written. Aaron Rodgers, as Jason talked about when he joined us in the last hour, Jason Wilde of Wilde and Todd, it was an 8-9 season and a loss on Sunday Night Football to get bounced from a potential playoff berth at the hands of the Detroit Lions, which did a number of things for legacies. It propelled the Lions to become what they are right now as the number 1 seed reigning last year and the champions of the NFC North back-to-back seasons. It propelled the Packers to officially move on from Aaron Rodgers and trade him to the Jets and move into the Jordan Love era. And now we'll see what happens with the rest of how this is written. Obviously, the Rodgers tenure with the Jets was far more much of a failure than the Brett Favre tenure with the Jets, outside of, again, the stuff off the field. So now, Aaron Rodgers has a chance to course correct his legacy in this potential final season of his career with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He has not made the playoffs in each of his last 3 seasons as a starting quarterback. He was the MVP in 21 when the Packers lost to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC Championship game. That's the last time Aaron Rodgers was the Aaron Rodgers we all remember him to be. That final season in Green Bay, he just wasn't it. There were a number of factors that you could point to. Allen Lazard being the number 1 receiver is one of them. He just wasn't the Aaron Rodgers we were used to seeing in 2022, and obviously 23 was done except for 4 plays. Last year the Jets stunk, and they were a train wreck. So Aaron Rodgers does have a chance to correct the narrative in his career. If he can play at a high level this year, if he can exceed expectations for the Steelers, if they just say they win the AFC North, a very competitive division. I mean, Cleveland has 18 quarterbacks, and they still have some talent on that team. They could be competitive. Cincinnati with Burrow and Jamar Chase, always competitive. Baltimore, obviously. Lamar Jackson, they've been at the top of the AFC the last several years. That's a very difficult division to win. If they can compete, if they can win that AFC North and get a home playoff game, and suddenly they have a chance to be in the Final Four in the AFC with Mahomes, with Josh Allen. If you get Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Joe Burrow, and Aaron Rodgers in the Final Four in the AFC playoff picture,
it's must-see TV.
That's amazing, right? And then you start to have the conversations again of including Aaron Rodgers in conversations with the new era of quarterbacks and Mahomes and Allen and Burrow and all those guys. That's what's not happening right now. I remember Drew Brees at the tail end of his career. Peyton Manning at the tail. They weren't mentioned in the same realm as some of the other modern GOAT quarterbacks. Rodgers has a chance this year to get back into that conversation and remind people outside.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Outside Decker, it's a 3. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop stab, that's his favorite. And the 2.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit condonjeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
This fall, build your perfect Wisconsin football game day with a mini pack. Pick any 3 games, including Big Ten matchups like Washington, Iowa, and Ohio State, and save while cheering on the Badgers. Big matchups, big moments, and it's all on your schedule. Football mini packs are available now. Create your custom game day experience today at uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS. First touchdown to the 5th quarter. There's always something to enjoy. Football game day starts here. We'll see you at Camp Randall.
Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Ford and Metro Kia of Madison. Find the Metro family of auto dealers online or see them in person on the east side of Madison today.
Veterans of Foreign Wars Wisconsin has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. VFW State Adjutant Adam Wallace.
Local is always important because we want to engage with our community and support local businesses. You know, we are local to Madison and they are too.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed Wisconsin business technology company. The benefit?
The benefit is having reliable equipment, having a reliable way to print documents.
James Imaging Systems, local service you just can't get anywhere else.
The customer service is great, and if an issue, when it rarely arises, they're very quick to fix it.
That's another benefit for the VFW.
It's just one less thing that we need to worry about as an organization.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. On Wednesday, June 18th, we're taking Wilde and Tausch back on the road down I-90 to Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Stop by and check out the new location featuring over 175,000 square feet of gaming and entertainment space. That includes more than 1,300 slot machines, 50 live table games, and a rock shop. Join us on Wednesday, June 18th from 9 to noon at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, a premier entertainment destination just off I-90 in Rockford, Illinois. Let's Hard Rock!
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Waiting to see a general surgeon? With Stoughton Health, it's always easy access, with most appointments within a week. And with over 160 insurances accepted, you're covered and in good hands. For more information, visit stoughtonhealth.com. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
You're listening to Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Solid starter, but they need more help. This is Pablo Iglesias alongside Jesse Nelson. We are live at the American Family Insurance Championship, Day 2 here at TPC Wisconsin of the tournament. One of the marquee events, too, going on Day 2. The celebrity foursome. Jesse, you're not the celebrity.
They're all staring at us, and I wanted to wave to them.
Thank you for waving to
Hi,
Jesse.
everyone. Welcome.
See, don't, Jesse,
it's they love it.
It's one thing. Please don't entertain him. Thank you for doing this. See, the thing with Jesse, though, is like Jesse's waving to people to get people to wave back to him.
Yeah.
No, Jesse, it has to be the other way around.
I'm initiating the wave to the fans. Welcome to the AmFam Championship. Hope you guys have a great time today.
Thank you.
Look at this. Hey, this guy's ready to have a Saturday. He is in the right mindset.
Is that the worm? Is that? Hey, can you break dance? Can you? Oh! You should have seen that. That guy's having.
He is going to be loose in about 3 hours.
Hey, man. Well, nice and loose. Getting ready to see the celebrity foursome, which features Justin Herbert, starting quarterback for the Los Angeles Chargers, and Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had Jordan Love here yesterday, and at the start of this segment, I did say solid starter, but they need more help. If I were to ask you, between Justin Herbert or Jordan Love, Who do you think that phrase, who do you think, according to Pro Football Focus, on their quarterback rankings, their quarterback power rankings, the starters?
Solid starter, but they need more help.
Yes.
I would say Jordan Love. I feel like Justin Herbert has had a lot of help.
You are correct. So based off of this is Pro Football Focus's top quarterback rankings of starters coming into this season.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Love is ranked 12th in Tier 3B.
Oh, I love the tiers. You know me.
Starters.
Solid starters, but they need more help. Pro Football Focus. Okay.
So Jesse, the question is, I'm going to ask you here, as somebody who's on, had jury duty. I'm not going to try to be too much of a leading question here.
Oh,
but
sure. Yeah. Well,
Justin Herbert, where do you believe he is on these power rankings, and how would you describe him?
It's interesting because I do think they're totally different, but somehow very near each other in quarterback list rankings. Justin Herbert's career thus far, I mean, he's thrown into starting right away as a rookie, did exceedingly well, I'd say, especially in that first season out in Los Angeles. They had that playoff meltdown in Jacksonville. They fire the coach. They make
pretty bad.
They course correct following that. Some of the fallout from that awful. Up to, was it 28-0, 27-0, and they lost the game in Jacksonville on that Saturday night. So they come back. They had a really solid year last year. They're in the same division with Kansas City, so they're not going to exceed Mahomes and the Chiefs unless they can dethrone them. They won't be viewed as the best team in their division for a long time. So they get into the playoffs as a wild card team last year. They go to Houston, and Houston's Houston. And they got beat up by the Texans, and Herbert threw a bunch of picks. So to me, Jordan Love has shown that he has a lot of the fundamentals. He has performed well in big moments against the Cowboys and especially the tail end of the 23 season to get the Packers into the playoffs. Herbert has the help. He's had great wide receivers around him. He's had a solid offensive line.
You got somebody too agreeing with
there
you. Apparently,
go. So
you got somebody pointing.
I love that. Herbert has had the help. Herbert just needs to show he can do it in the playoffs. I don't know if Jordan Love, the narrative, especially nationally, might be Jordan Love needs to prove he can win a big playoff game. To me, he already did that by going to Dallas and winning. And playing well for 3 quarters against the San Francisco 49ers. To me, it's more about, does Jordan Love have a defensive coordinator, a solid defensive unit with players that are a bunch of first-round picks that are going to rise to the occasion in those big moments. As opposed to Herbert, it's like, does this guy have a moment in him in a playoff game to go and win it? Go beat Mahomes. Go beat Josh Allen. Go beat Lamar Jackson. Because thus far, he has not done that in his career. Jordan Love, in that sense, playoff accomplishment actually has surpassed Justin Herbert already.
If I were to ask you, too, if I called Justin Herbert high-end starter.
Yeah.
Yes or no with Pro Football Focus's analysis of that?
Justin Herbert's a high-end starter. I'd agree.
What do you think would take Jordan Love to that high-end starter? Again, they put him in that he's a solid starter but needs more help. Is it the help? We talked a little bit about this, too. It's like, how are these receivers going to respond? How are they going to grow with Jordan Love? Again, you could stay young, but the talk was, are they going to get the superstar? What do you think is going to take Jordan Love to that Tier 2 level, if you will, the same level that Justin Herbert is on?
I think this is actually easy. I think Chris Collinsworth, he's involved with Pro Football Focus, right? Hey,
here's a guy.
We're on the same page. Jordan Love needs more help, and he got that in Matthew Golden and Savion Williams heading into this year. He's got Luke Musgrave healthy. He's got Romeo Doubs more on board with what the Packers are doing. Christian Watson when he comes back from injury. Luke Musgrave, Tucker Kraft at tight end. He has the help, I think, in place now. They upgraded at center. Theoretically, if Elton Jenkins is all good to go there with Josh Myers being gone. The Packers have addressed holes on offense, and they've tried to correct it this year, knowing that Jordan Love needs more help. I think that's an accurate assessment of him as a regular season quarterback, and I think he's in a position to exceed those expectations coming into this season. Again, Jordan Love performed well in a playoff game. Justin Herbert thus far has not. That's what it comes down to when I'm comparing these two quarterbacks specifically. Jordan Love won a playoff game in Dallas that he was not expected to win. Justin Herbert lost 2 playoff games that he was expected to win. One that he was up 27-0. And I know that it's a team sport. It's not all on him. The defense didn't do anything for the Chargers in that game. The offense, play calling, whatever else, it was a debacle in the second half. But Justin Herbert, if you're a fan of quarterback wins and losses, is 0-2 in the postseason. Jordan Love is 1-2. Jordan Love won a playoff game, and Jordan Love played well against the Eagles last year. Well, actually, no, he didn't. He threw a bunch of picks. I guess there was that, but the offense was also depleted, and they weren't going to win that game. And the Eagles went on to win the Super Bowl. So, I'm regular season assessments of Jordan Love and Justin Herbert are one thing. To me, it's almost Lamar Jackson fits this criteria also. Pick him up, whatever they've done in the regular season, great thus far. Put him in the postseason. Lamar Jackson can't get over the hump to the Super Bowl. Justin Herbert can't win a playoff game. Jordan Love's 1-2, but he looked really good in that one. What does it take to get Jordan Love better positioned to win games? Improve some of the cast around him. I think you're in good shape. I don't know what it takes for Justin Herbert right now. I don't know what it takes for Lamar Jackson right now to get over that hump.
844-770-3776, the Carbless Talk and text line. Less is more. Pablo Iglesias, Jesse Nelson. Saturday Scramble here at the American Family Championship. We're talking about the back and forth between where Justin Herbert stands currently in his career and where Jordan Love is at based off of Pro Football Focus and their rankings. Justin Herbert a little bit more on that higher tier, top 10 right now. Jordan Love is pushing it very, very close. But
what do you think?
What I think, my question to you, let me answer this with a question.
Sure. Yeah, that's very Wildy of you.
Hey, that's it. We're a little bit of capital J. I think Jason, I'm not a 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, but let's go smaller picture here.
Yeah.
Is Jordan Love the best quarterback in the NFC North? Because that's where it feels like it needs to start. Everybody's saying you gotta go NFC Championship, you gotta go Super Bowl. But if you're asking me, this team hasn't even won an NFC North right now or a division championship under Jordan Love. So where do you think he ranks amongst the NFC North quarterbacks?
Statistically, I think you would have to say Goff because of what he's done the last 2 years in Detroit. But I'm really interested what that's going to look like without Ben Johnson running the offense this year as the coordinator. So Ben Johnson obviously has now gone to Chicago. Caleb Williams didn't have a stellar year. Like, you're a Bears fan, you know that.
Yes,
he was better than what you've had, but he wasn't amazing.
When the expectation is, at least I was having these conversations with people here yesterday. We were on Fan on the Street. Funny enough, ran into more Bears fans, and then I realized they're like, yeah, at least he's good. And like, if at least he's good.
At least he's good is a good assessment of that. Yeah,
is our ceiling right now. As the Chicago Bears fan too. Like, it is what it is at this point.
At least he's good.
Yeah,
Caleb Williams. Jordan Love is better than at least he's good. But will Ben Johnson make Caleb Williams look like the best quarterback in the NFC? I'm a little concerned he might because of the offensive system that is statistically. Like, Jordan Love is for sure better than J.J. McCarthy. So it comes down to those three, and what do you value most when you assess the quarterback position? To me, Jordan Love, right now entering this 2025 season, is the best quarterback in the NFC. Because I think if you gave Jordan Love Ben Johnson's system and the talent around him in Detroit, he would have put up better numbers than Jared Goff did.
You're saying NFC. You're saying wholeheartedly.
In the NFC North.
In the NFC North.
I'm sorry,
okay.
NFC North.
That's what I wanted to make sure. You got a lot of eyes that popped over here.
Jordan Love in the NFC North.
You also gave a young child who was just walking over here hope beyond belief.
All right.
You said that Jordan Love is the best quarterback in the NFC.
Was that young child Riley who's trying to talk to me right now?
I think so. Riley's got something. What's popping?
What you're saying is that Ben Johnson is a better offensive mind than Matt LaFleur.
So far, yes.
Okay,
it's music to my ears.
Just want you to confirm.
Yeah. Now that could go terribly in Chicago, and I think it will, just based on track record, because things tend to go terribly in Chicago.
Everybody has a Cinderella story moment at some point.
Maybe, yeah.
Just because there have been more glass slippers that have been broken doesn't mean that you can't. You still can't go to the ball once in a while.
Unless you're writing Alice in Wonderland instead of Cinderella, and it's a different thing.
Fair enough.
Ben Johnson, I think, has shown more offensive innovation and more success sustained over 2 full years when in Detroit than Matt LaFleur has been able to show with Jordan Love. Because I don't know how to assess Matt LaFleur in the Aaron Rodgers era for the first couple of seasons when he came into Green Bay.
What about Matt LaFleur with Malik Willis? Think Ben Johnson's getting those wins?
They just ran the ball 49 times and beat the Colts. That was great. But
that's an interesting thing, too, where it's like we have to take a step back and think, like, yes, Riley Yaukbacker, the Everlight Solar Studio, holding down the fort for us, was a huge Maliber, as he called it, for Malik Willis during the time that he filled in for Jordan Love. But the thing is, Riley, I love you. We go back and forth on it. Malik Willis was not the reason why the Green Bay Packers won those games.
Yeah, I mean,
he played a part in it. He was the starting quarterback, but it's also the same thing with Jordan Love, too. He didn't win all of those games last year. It's like, just because you're the starter does not mean he is the reason. Like, you can't give him all those wins.
They beat the Colts because they ran the ball 50 times with Josh Jacobs, and then they beat the Titans, who had the number 1 pick in the draft, because they were the worst team in the league last year. And it just so happened to be a revenge game that gave them a little extra juice to go play well.
It was like week 3. What
was week 3.
It was week
I watched
3.
it at the Hard Rock Casino, Rockford.
It was week 3, and the funniest thing is that we have already determined the Tennessee Titans as the worst team.
They were.
They were terrible.
They were.
I'm disagreeing. It's just hilarious how at that point in the season they were so bad.
Matt LaFleur deserves credit for scheming up a game plan that looked good and got the team a couple of victories there for sure. But I don't think it was better than what Ben Johnson did to dismantle the Minnesota Vikings or to give them a 14-0 lead over the 49ers in the NFC Championship game the year before. I would say that. And the Cowboys did a bit of self-destruction in that divisional round game the year before where the Packers won in the playoffs. So I don't know if I'd give Matt LaFleur full credit there.
To twist your own logic on you, Jesse, what has Ben
Yes,
Johnson
I like
done
this.
What has he done in the playoffs? What have the Lions done in the playoffs?
They beat the Rams. They beat the Buccaneers. They choked against the Commanders last year. And anytime a one-seed chokes like that, but then you see coordinators go on and get head coaching jobs, I wonder, because that's always goofy to me, why you're taking interviews in that bye week before you're getting ready for a divisional round playoff game.
Oh, they were checked out.
And I wonder if, I don't think Ben Johnson was checked out. I wouldn't go that far. I don't think he was checked out saying, I'm on to Chicago already, see you, Detroit. I think he was in it. But you're distracted when you're applying for another job while you're also preparing for the biggest game of your season. And so I think that may have had a factor in that performance for the Lions in that game against the Commanders. I appreciate the challenge, Riley. This is why we flush these kinds of things out.
We flush these things out. It seems like Jesse has been grilled with a lot of questions, but on the other side now, I think it's the opportunity now that, Jesse, you were on the other side, too, as being the juror. Well, you get to question us, Riley and I, now on the other side. We've got a fun edition.
This is going to be fun.
Judge Jesse coming up here on the Saturday Scramble. Pablo Iglesias, Jesse Nelson. Once again, Judge Jesse coming up next.
Stay tuned. Saturday Scramble continues after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
Hey, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network, and I've got a question for you. Is your home ready to shine this season? Whether it's roofing, siding, or windows, Ridgetop Exteriors is the name you can trust. For over 20 years, Ridgetop Exteriors has been Wisconsin's favorite for roofing, and they bring that same expertise to siding and windows. Imagine vibrant, low-maintenance siding and energy-efficient windows that brighten your home while cutting energy costs. Ridgetop Exteriors holds all expert-level installation credentials with the leading manufacturers, including Pella, James Hardy Fiber Cement Siding, and LP Smart Side Engineered Wood Siding. With thousands of 5-star reviews and a commitment to excellence, they're the clear choice for home improvement needs. Plus, consultations and estimates are always free, so there's no reason to wait. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com to schedule your free consultation. Ridgetop Exteriors, putting customers first every time.
Ridgetop Exteriors is the place for you.
The Bucky Badger Student Mascot Fund was created to support the amazing student athletes who bring the best mascot in the world to life.
Hey, this is Gene Cho, Bucky from 03 to 05. Most memorable moment? Definitely getting arrested at a football game for crowd surfing as Bucky. Oof, maybe not the best shining moment for Bucky.
Your donation will help fund new scholarships to ensure that the rich tradition of Bucky lives on. Learn more at supportbucky.org. That's supportbucky.org.
After a serious crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. Your future your family's future, your quality of life. That's why knowledge and results matter in big truck cases. And not all law firms have the know-how or the resources to handle these complicated cases. At Gruberg Law Offices, we have the experience it takes to make sure you're protected. And there's never a fee until we win your case. Gruberg Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Gear up for Quick Trip's Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Now through August 17th. Play free daily in the Quick Rewards app and earn bonus plays with every eligible purchase. Grab one with hot food. That's 2 bonus plays. Each week, the cash prize climbs by $5,000, all the way to a $250,000 grand prize. So open the app and get climbing. Your summer, your climb, your win. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents residing in Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan, South Dakota, North Dakota, or Wisconsin. Ends August 17th. Bonus plays require qualifying purchase. See full rules at quicktrip.com/sweepstakes.
You're listening to Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Sally, that feeling's coming around. Please don't go falling in love and disappearing the wild.
The Saturday Scramble here, live on a beautiful Saturday morning. Day 2 of the American Family Championship at TPC Wisconsin. A subtle flex here that Jesse, I'm surprised, hasn't pointed out since our starting segment is that, yes, I will get to be taking this course. How many balls I will lose, I would love to hear how confident you are in my abilities. It is what it is. I'll still put together some great content. I believe I could be the poor man's Bryson DeChambeau. From a content standpoint, I'm not going to drive 325. I'm saying more from an entertaining content standpoint.
People think I think highly of myself. I think they need to get to know you a little bit more.
Look, see, here's the thing. It's all about how you. It's about how you talk. You got to talk to yourself positively. That's the game of golf, man. You got to talk to yourself positively. It's a game that's in between the ears. You know how it goes. I read up on how is Tiger Woods such a successful putter. He doesn't think to himself, man, I hope I make this. I hope I don't miss this. I hope I don't miss. No, he goes in there, he locks in, he knows what his line is, and he says, I'm going to hear the bottom of this cup. That's how Tiger Woods is successful. That's how it is. I don't know what the heck's going to happen, but you know what? I'm going to carry myself, and I'm going to be confident, cool, calm, and collective. That's my take, but you know what? It is time for our juror of the week, too. He was away from Wilde and Tausch. Jesse Nelson is back, but Jesse, you're going to be switching up roles a little bit from jury duty to being in the judge seat. It is time to lay down the hammer. It is Judge Jesse time. Riley, start us up with the music. Ah, yes.
Of course.
It is that time. So as we said, it is Judge Jesse time. Our juror fresh off of jury duty earlier this week. You heard it a little bit about it on Wilde and Tausch. Jesse, thank you for your service on that.
Pleasure.
Of course.
My pleasure.
We really appreciate that. So we are going to have a little fun with this one. Jesse's got a couple takes. Riley Yauk and I will be defending our cases, whether it is for or against. The takes are unique to us. And Jesse, please present the first case.
So here is the first statement here that I'd like for you to come to a verdict on. And again, I will rule officially here as the judge. The championship that would bring Wisconsin sports fans the most joy is a Brewers World Series victory.
I will, looking at the coin toss, I have won. I have elected to defer and take to the second half. Riley Yauk, you will get the ball first. Riley Yauk.
State the case.
State your case.
Your Honor, Judge Jesse, let's take a look at the evidence here. As a massive Brewers fan myself and a dedicated employee of the station, I've been pining for more Milwaukee Brewers coverage and have been repeatedly denied due to the claim that Wisconsin sports fans care most about the Green Bay Packers. Therefore, it is false. A Milwaukee Brewers championship, as much joy as it would bring me, would not bring the most joy to the state of Wisconsin. I rest my case.
Well.
Mr. Iglesias.
Friends, compadres, everybody here at the TPC Wisconsin. Jesse.
Compadres?
Just let me do my thing. This guy's wearing a Sox hat, too. Go Sox, by the way. Can't get too distracted. That's a prime example, though, right there. People love baseball. Everybody loves baseball. You go out, you enjoy yourself.
There's no way that guy loves baseball right now. Yeah.
Objection.
Whoa. Sustained, Mr. Yauk.
It was a Chicago White Sox hat, not a Milwaukee Brewers hat.
It was a White Sox hat. There's no way that guy loves baseball right now. Back to you, Mr. Iglesias.
The elation that the Milwaukee Brewers can bring. Let's look at this team last year. How gutted, how sad was everybody when Devin Williams, which, he who must not be named, the Voldemort, essentially, of this whole thing. But I digress.
Devin Williams?
When he gave up the home run against the New York Mets.
Yes.
That was a tough one. But we think about how gutted everybody was. They felt like that this was a team of destiny almost. A team that you could root for. An underdog squad. Heck, even when they came so close to beating the Dodgers to go to the World Series. How great of a taste would that have been? To have the Milwaukee Brewers playing for the Fall Classic. You think about how crisp the air is already in Milwaukee. It's a closed stadium and everything. And heck, even 1982, there was a parade when the team didn't even win the World Series and a bunch of people flooded the streets of Milwaukee. I think there's a lot more love here for the Milwaukee Brewers. If they were to bring the next championship, especially with this squad and Pat Murphy, they're the underdog. Everybody loves an underdog story. Everybody loves it. When this team that's a bunch of scrappers in an era of like superstar-loaded teams, all of that, everybody's got to spend money to win championships. The Milwaukee Brewers can do that. Why not?
Mr. Yauk, you carry the burden of the state. You have the final word in our closing arguments.
As you can see, my compatriot, Pablo Iglesias, was grasping at straws.
Compadres and compatriots. What are you guys
filibustering
doing?
At the end of his statement. You could tell the lack of succinctness.
Filibustering is not what you do in court, Riley. That's political. That is what happens in Congress.
Objection.
It's sustained.
Hearsay.
I rest my case.
That's a good idea.
I have said what is needed to be said.
All right. Well, I've come to a verdict. Which, again, this is not how the court system works at all. The jury is supposed to come to a verdict, and the judge simply presides over the case. But you know what? I kind of like this way better. I, the Honorable Judge Jesse, do declare that Mr. Yauk has not provided evidence beyond reasonable doubt that the Milwaukee Brewers would not bring the most joy to the Wisconsin sports fan winning a title.
How is the burden of proof on me?
Because you went first, therefore you're representing the state, therefore you have the burden of proof.
If anyone who knows the legal system, it's Jesse.
Oh, I learned a lot this week. So here's what I would say, because this actually ended up being a pretty good conversation,
This was great.
Nice job, fellas, except for the White Sox guy. That was a little...
Whoa, hang on. No, he's still there. He's still there. I think I see him, and he's pointing up. Go Sox.
The Milwaukee Brewers franchise has never won a championship. They have never won a World Series. So to win the very first one that we saw in the documentary last year that came out, which is available, I think, streaming on Roku now, they threw a parade for coming in second place.
Yes.
And people went nuts in 1982. Like, there was so much buy-in and so much belief in the team. Baseball is such a sport that you feel so connected to, listening on the radio each and every day over the course of 6 months. You become connected to it. It becomes a staple in your life. And then to finally get over that hump and to win a first championship ever. Look at the Bucks. I saw some clips on social media circulating the last couple of days. The Deer District, when the Bucks were in the finals in Game 6 against the Suns, how starved fans were for a championship in Milwaukee. The Bucks are not as popular as the Brewers. And if the Brewers were to have a shot at like beating the Yankees or trying to think who else is good in the American League, the Guardians, the Twins.
Even if the Brewers took down the Dodgers to go down to go to the World Series.
Game 7 against the Dodgers in 2018 was electric. Like, if they could get back to even that type of moment in NLCS, it would be so amazing to see the buy-in from everybody around the state. And I remember being in Milwaukee in 2018, 2011, when there were big Brewers games up at the same time as Packers games, and more people cared about the Packers game, or about the Brewers games. Dang, I misspoke, and it was directly the opposite of what I meant. That's not good in the court of law. A lot more, like, there were people, the Brewers game at 110 against the Cubs with CeCe Sabathia on the mound in 08. I couldn't tell you who the Packers were playing that day, because that Brewers game mattered more than anything. If the Brewers were to get back to that point, we would be dialed in on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers. We would be dialed in watching the games on television, out at local establishments, at the game, out in the parking lot, wherever you would be. And there's not proof beyond a reasonable doubt that any other team would provide more excitement for the Wisconsin sports fan than the Brewers winning a title.
Yeah,
for the record, Judge Jesse has spoken.
For the record, I totally agree with Jesse, and that's how it should be.
And that is on record. We have that for the record, on record from Riley Yauk. Judge Jesse, thank you for looking at all the evidence, doing everything that you can.
Court is dismissed.
Respecting the process. Thank you for dismissing us. That has been Judge Jesse. We unfortunately do not have time for the second case of Judge
one
Jesse.
Case a day. One case a day.
One case a day, the Jesse Nelson way, apparently. For Judge Jesse, we got to do this some more.
I enjoyed it.
We may have to keep this going. So the second case will be set at a different time. We will take a recess here. Quick reset in the final segment of the Saturday Scramble coming your way. Pablo Iglesias, Judge Jesse Nelson here at the American Family Insurance Championship Day 2 at TPC Wisconsin. We'll talk to you in just a second.
Stay tuned. Saturday Scramble continues after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Greg Scalzi here for Total Athlete Performance. They're here to provide elite performance training for serious athletes in the Madison area. And there's a new Verona TAP facility open inside of the Verona Athletic Center. Summer speed, agility, and semi-private options are now available at both Verona and Windsor locations, and now offering monthly subscription payment options. Plus, you can download the new Total Athlete Performance app for remote training options all year round. Visit tapwisconsin.com. That's tapwisconsin.com.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. On Wednesday, June 18th, we're taking Wilde and Tausch back on the road down I-90 to Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Stop by and check out the new location featuring over 175,000 square feet of gaming and entertainment space. That includes more than 1,300 slot machines, 50 live table games, and a rock shop. Join us on Wednesday, June 18th from 9 to noon at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, a premier entertainment destination just off I-90 in Rockford, Illinois. Let's Hard Rock!
The Bucky Badger Student Mascot Fund was created to support the amazing student athletes who bring the best mascot in the world to life. Hey, my name is Stacy Bruner. I was Bucky Badger from 2010 to 2014. My most memorable sports moment was running out the flag at the 2013 Rose Bowl versus Stanford. Your donation will help fund new scholarships to ensure that the rich tradition of Bucky lives on. Learn more at supportbucky.org. That's supportbucky.org.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
You're listening to Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. Are we gonna do what they say can't be done? We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I'm eastbound, just like no bandit run. Keep your foot hard on the pedal, son, never mind them brakes. Let it all hang out, cause we got a run to make. The boys are thirsty in Atlanta, and there's beer in Texarkana, and we'll bring it back no matter what.
This is the Saturday Scramble, final segment here at TPC Wisconsin, the site of Day 2 of the American Family Insurance Championship. One of the big highlights, too. We got to see if we can get a scoreboard update, too. We've been allowed loud cheers. I believe Steve Stricker in the scramble format, too, talking about this on the Saturday Scramble. Probably reaching somewhere close to the turn, facing the back nine. But an exciting one today, Jesse, the celebrity foursome. All right.
Andy's warming up. I think I saw him. Andy North, Mia Hamm, Charles Woodson. Warming up. Justin Herbert.
I was going to say, are you going to get all of them? You're struggling to get them.
They're all here. They're all around. They're getting ready. So getting loose. 2 o'clock, the estimated tee time on hole 10 for the AmFam Championship Celebrity Foursome, a staple of AmFam Championship Saturday here at TPC Wisconsin.
Yeah, arguably it's one of the best days. You get to follow along like this group of celebrities. I am stoked to be a part of that. We've got a great social team lined up. So make sure you follow us all across our social channels on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. We'll have a little bit of some updates there. But those will be where we want to put some updates there. It's not televised too, so make sure we'll make sure to keep you the golf diehards updated on the scoreboard as well for the celebrity foursome opportunities. It's going to be a fun one. Once again, Andy North with Charles Woodson, Mia Hamm, and Justin Herbert here at the American Family Insurance Championship at TPC Wisconsin. Jesse, real quick, who do you think?
Ooh,
do we have the pairings?
I've got the updated standings here as of right now through 9 here on day 2.
Okay.
Stricker and Tiziani in first place.
Let's go.
At 15 under par.
Let's go in the new team format.
Stricker, Tiziani, 15 under in first place, and then a few teams tied for second. So at 14 under, several teams at 13 under, it's tight. So Stricker and Tiziani at the midway point on day 2, the halfway point of the tournament this weekend, a 3-day tournament. They are in first place on the home course for Stricker.
That is going to be sweet if a former Badger in Tiziani winning this and the Wisconsin man himself, the Ryder Cup captain, Steve Stricker bringing home the championship here at AmFam in the first year at a new site. That would be fun. Again, make sure you follow us, too, for all the coverage out here. This has been the Saturday Scramble. Pablo Iglesias, Jesse Nelson. Heading up next, it's Aaron Rodgers, the best stuff from all of our ESPN Wisconsin reactions for Rodgers, agreeing to terms potentially or will be going to Pittsburgh. That is coming up next. This has been the Saturday Scramble on 100.5 ESPN.
Watch PGA Tour champions, including tournament host Steve Stricker, at the American Family Insurance Championship. The tournament moves to its new home at TPC Wisconsin Friday, June 6th through Sunday, June 8th, and features a new team competition. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and the American Family